This coronavirus has really shaken up things quite a bit, to say the least. And it's no different for social workers who ourselves are often on the front lines when a crisis occurs. And I think what this crisis has shown us is that, above all, your health is your most valuable asset. And even more so than your physical health, I think your mental health is paramount. And what we're seeing though is that although helpers and we as social workers are often on the front lines, a lot of us are having challenges as well when it comes to just maintaining great mental health and caring for ourselves. So this video is a conversation on self-care, and I have it with my guest for today, Miss Lakeya Cherry. She's the CEO of the Network for Social Work Management. And what you're about to hear is a conversation that we had about the importance of self-care, and especially why it's so important now more than ever. And I encourage you to share this video with anyone who you think might need a conversation themselves about the importance of self-care and what they can do during this time and going forward. Enjoy. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Rich Social Worker. I am your host, Eva Ford, and today with me on the channel we have Miss Lakeya Cherry. Yay!
Yay!
Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome, Eva.
And you know, this actually works for me because I've been hesitant to do online recordings like this because I just think it's so much richer when you could be in the same space with someone. But COVID-19 has made this type of gathering the thing. So thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
And I'm actually really excited because today we're going to talk about self-care and why it's so important, some of the things that people are doing, some of the things we're doing. And I just think you are the perfect person to have on the channel. And with that, do you mind just kind of formally introducing yourself and telling everyone a little bit just about you in terms of as a social worker, and then the other things that you're doing, and then we can get into the juicy details of what we're doing for self-care.
Perfect. So thank you again for having me. It's a pleasure to be reconnected with you after so many years. I'm Lakeya, as Eva said, and I'm the CEO of the Network for Social Work Management. I've been the CEO of the network for about 6.5 years. I'm also a doctoral student getting ready to graduate. I'm at USC Suzanne DeVore Peck School of Social Work, and I'm getting my doctorate in social work. And I'm focusing on addressing the racial leadership gap in the sector, because unfortunately, there's not too many people like Eva and myself who are in leadership roles within health and human service organizations. So I've been researching that for the last 2 years. So thanks again for having me, Eva.
I actually did not know, what the focus of your doctoral program was, but that's very
surprise.
Cool. Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense, and it's very cool. One of the things that even though we're not in the same place and we only technically have only physically met once, yeah, I feel like we're really connected because
isn't it weird?
Yeah, it is. Some people you just connect with, and that's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. But I feel like the work that we do is very similar because as I'm the president of the Social Work Association in Jamaica, which, like the social work for the network for social,
the network for social work management.
This network for social work management. Yes, I'm trying to see it in my mind.
Or just say the network or NSWM.
Yes, thank you. But we do such similar work, and I love the work that you guys do. And for any social workers who have never heard of the Network for Social Work Management, or maybe you've heard of it before but aren't involved, I really recommend membership. Membership is still free. Is that true?
Still free.
Still free. That's excellent. And
you guys just always provide such great quality in terms of education and helping social workers, I think, in leadership to, fortify their skills and connect with one another, even internationally, which I think is really amazing. But yeah, I've always admired the work that you do, and kind of wish that we had the same type of resources in Jamaica. That's a whole nother story. But one of the things that I think, since following you, and we're also Starting Block sisters.
We are.
You did Starting Block just a couple years ago, right?
I did it last February, LA 19.
Okay, awesome. And I did New York 2014. And
so you've been around for a while with Starting Block.
I've been here for a minute. That's right, I'm an OG. So, and actually for our viewers, they would have heard me talk about Starting Block before, because another one of my interviews with Anim Awa, she is also a social worker who went to Starting Block. And if you haven't checked out that video, guys, you can go and check that one out. It's a really great interview about leveraging your skills in social work. And so I followed you, and one of the things that I've loved about you is that you, from an observer standpoint, you seem to really be doing a good job with self-care. Now, I have no idea if it's the truth or not, but that's why I wanted us to have this honest conversation today, because I think, social workers are in a unique position, just like many other of the helping professionals around this corona crisis, where we don't take off. A lot of us have jobs where coronavirus, like, this is what we signed up for. We signed up to be, the frontline workers, or to be the ones that when a crisis happens, this is what we trained for, right? So,
yeah,
but
exactly.
one of the things I'm recognizing too is that a lot of social workers are freaking out themselves, and rightly so, because we're exposed if we're working, right? We're exposed. We also have to take care of our mental health. We also have families. We also care about our clients, and we care about the ramifications, the repercussions. So we've got a lot going on. And I think too, this conversation is applicable to a number of people in various professions. But yeah, I think when I check out your Facebook page, or, if I'm following you, you seem to be doing a good job, and not just during Corona. Like, I think, you do a lot of traveling, and you do some other things. So first, let's just start off with why this conversation of self-care for helpers is so important. And especially in this time of Corona. I'd love your thoughts.
Well, I think, like you mentioned, social workers are often at the front line. And so we're so used to taking care of other people. I think a lot of times people underestimate the value and the importance of social workers until time for crisis. And then even internally, a lot of social workers, we encourage other people to self-care, you got to take care of yourself. But I don't think that we're often taking care of ourselves the way that we encourage other people to do so. So now, kind of like, here we are in the thick of things, trying to be helpers and trying to take care of everyone as we've been doing. But this crisis is impacting everyone. Like, you cannot turn to anyone, regardless of which race, which socioeconomic background, which age, or whatever, and coronavirus isn't impacting them in some way. And so self-care now means social workers have to really kind of take notice of themselves and where they're at, and step back a little bit. Like, you have to have grace with yourself and realize where you are. Like, admittedly, when this all first started, I'd say a few weeks ago, I read a lot, so I've been paying attention to this since it started. And each week I started getting more and more anxious. I was super nervous, and I started talking to people about it, and they weren't taking it serious. And I was sharing articles, and I was saying, you guys, like, this is serious. Do you see what's happening in China right now? Do you see what's happening in Italy? Do you see what's happening in South Korea? But so many people were so in their bubble and paying to their day-to-day lives that they didn't think that it would come here, that it would impact us the way that it has. And so fortunately, I kind of went through the initial emotions weeks ago, and I'm still going through it, but I feel that I have to kind of be strong and kind of reframe. And so a lot of what I've been doing is having grace with myself, where before I went to bed at a certain time, now I'm going to bed later. I'm waking up later, but I'm also trying to stay structured. So once I get up, I'm trying to maintain the routines that I had before, whether it's getting up, drinking water, having, I used to go to the gym regularly. I have a personal trainer, not seeing him anymore, but instead I'm going for walks. And the good thing about that is I've been working from home for over 6 years. And I'm one of those people where if we had a Fitbit challenge, I would lose because I just wasn't getting enough steps in a day. But now I'm like dying to go outside. And so going outside, walking around, it's kind of answering something that I needed prior to this crisis. Like, it's allowing me to slow down, pay attention to my environment, get in my steps, and just really just breathe. Oftentimes when I'm working out, my trainer is like, gosh, like, you have clenched fists and you don't breathe. And he was constantly like, okay, breathe. And I wouldn't do it. And now I find myself telling other people to breathe. And as I'm telling them, it's like a reminder, okay, you need to breathe too.
Yeah.
We encourage people to meditate, to do different relaxation things, to be intentional, to do whatever. I never did it. And now I'm realizing, okay, I'm going to tell people to do this, but I need to do it as well. I've had like these little cards. They're like intention cards. So when I was a therapist, I used to use this during therapy, and I would have those that I was seeing kind of pick a card, and they would say different like motivational things each day. So now with everything that's going on, I was like, okay, kind of like daily devotionals. So every morning I literally will scan through these, and then I'll pick a card. This one says, create to connect. Your dream is bigger than you are. It's the creative force of God. Create your dream life, then send it out into the world to make a difference. And I'll literally post it at my desk, and throughout the day, I'll look at it and think about it. And that kind of allows me to refocus. And so, I mean, it's hard, like literally like, oh my gosh, the world is ending. What's going to happen? Other days I'm like, you're doing the best you can. Focus on what you can control. I'm someone who's used to having control. Right now, control over our present circumstances. So knowing that, really thinking about what that means. Why are you someone that always has to have control? Knowing that you have no control, what can you have control of? You can have control over your own emotions and how you choose to respond to this. And even if you respond one way now, you can choose to later on refocus and redirect your energy. So it's a work in progress for me, but that's something that I'm doing for myself. Like, I'm setting intentions, and I'm just really trying to keep my mindset in a positive, trying to keep my mindset positive.
Yeah. You said two things. I hope I remember both of them, but that I wanted to highlight. And one, I think early on in your discussion, you were saying one of the things is that we as social workers talk about practicing self-care, but maybe we haven't done it for ourselves. And one of the things I did for myself, especially like I got really intentional about self-care last year. Well, I've been intentional about self-care, but last year I think I paid attention to what I was doing. And so when this crisis came for me, because I agree with you, we talk a good game, but we don't always practice it. And just as an aside, I learned that in 2014 4 or 5. I almost got fired from a job because my supervisor was like, your lack of self-care is putting the rest of us at risk, because when you don't self-care and you have to take time off, we have to pick up the slack. She was a wonderful, wise woman. She's like, you're going to be fired if you don't take care of yourself. And I was like, whoa.
Good for her.
Good for her.
That's so unusual, but seriously, good for her. Like, wow.
Listen, I learned my lesson, maybe a little too well, but last year I really started paying attention to what I was doing, and I started walking too. So one of the things I realized about myself, or I learned about myself last year, is that I am, in terms of Myers-Briggs personality type, I am an ENFP, and we're prone to overwhelm. We're prone to being stressed, and we're prone to depression when we don't self-care. So I already know I can't keep CNN on 24/7.
Yeah.
Like, I already know I can't check the news every day. Like, there's some things that I can't read beyond the headlines, because I cannot be effective if I do that. And so I think putting those boundaries in place and practicing before a crisis, I mean, obviously a little too late now if you haven't practiced it, but that's okay. That's okay. We're all going through this. We're all having this human experience. So it's okay. And I love the other thing that you were saying, Lakeya, is that you're acknowledging, where you are in the process. And you've got these rituals, you're employing these intentions, and you're not only speaking to others, but you're also speaking to yourself. And I mean, that's what we've got to do. I mean, like, we like to talk a good game, like we're superheroes, and we are, and we're wonderful, and we are, but come on, y'all.
Yeah.
You
even superheroes have like their thing, so.
Exactly.
One thing you said, like you mentioned your Myers-Briggs, and so yourself. Your personality, things that are triggers for you. And how many of us know ourselves?
Yeah.
And so I think a big thing with self-care is people always think that it's taking a day off, doing fun, maybe getting a massage or taking a bubble bath. But for me, I look at it as emotional intelligence and well-being. And so I am a big thinker. I'm someone where I will overanalyze and think about everything. And I might not put it to paper or say it out loud, but my mind is like always moving, where I'll go to sleep and I'll wake up with a headache because I was thinking the whole night, processing.
Wow.
And so me knowing that about myself, it's okay, you're going too far. You need to get yourself in check. Knowing that about yourself, kind of like what you were saying, step away from CNN for a while.
Yeah.
Stay woke. Still pay attention and know what's going on. That's vital. That's so important that you're paying attention to factual news and reporting, but we shouldn't be doing that all the time, especially someone prone to anxiety. It's okay to step away and Netflix and chill and go to a virtual dance party or do whatever, but also embrace the moment. I mean, one of my members, she contacted me and she said she's been watching me for a while, and she was saying how she admires me and how I'm always like on the go, and that she hopes that despite this crisis, I'll be able to kind of step away and get the break that I probably need that I otherwise wouldn't have had. And I was like, wow, like this person sees me. How thoughtful for her to say that. But oh my God, this is so true. I didn't even look at it that way. Like I've been in, oh my gosh, what can I do to fix this for my organization and the impact it's going to have on us? I mean, we just rescheduled a conference yesterday. So obviously, as an executive of an organization, there's those things that you have to consider, which can impact the amount of time you're devoting to self-care. But then you have members and people around you who are looking at you for leadership. And with that said, being vulnerable and saying, I'm still trying to figure it out too. Not perfect. And I mean, there's plenty of us, myself included, who suffer from time to time with perfectionism and like I said, who have issues with control. And this is the time to say, like, listen, I'm going through it as well. This is hard to do, and I'm trying to figure it out as we go, but openly communicating that. And I think the more we do that, we not only take care of ourselves, but we're taking care of those around us by letting them know that it's okay to be vulnerable and it's okay to be real. And we just all need to be kinder to ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think just like you said, there are many different ways to do that. You know, some people, the bubble bath works. Some people, turning off everything works. Some people maybe need to like kind of focus in on one thing and kind of grind out their passion or whatever that thing is. Yeah. So yeah, I co-sign on what you said about like knowing yourself, and I think this is also a really good opportunity for people to get to know themselves.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
So like, you know,
Time like the present, right?
nope. Hey, what else you gonna do? What else you gonna do? Like really get to know yourself. You know, experiment, try different things. If you can get outside, maybe you wanna garden or plant something. If you can't get outside, maybe you want to organize things in your house. Maybe you don't want to organize things in your house and you want to, maybe you're really good at calling people and connecting with people. I had someone do something for me, and this is someone I don't talk to normally. And similar to the experience that you had, they reached out, called me by name, acknowledged where I was in Jamaica at the time and said, hey, I'm thinking about you. Are you taking care of yourself? And just really started a genuine conversation. And I thought that was so valuable. And maybe you're one of those people that can make people feel seen during this time, and that you find that that's a gift and a skill, or something that you really enjoy doing and something that's extremely valuable now. And so I had a video up that I did last week about how to actually take advantage of this opportunity. But I think it's just a balance, right? And it looks like we're going to be in this situation for quite some time. So beyond next week, when I say quite some time, I mean like it does seem like it's going to go on for a little while. So that maybe means people have a little more time to kind of figure things out and kind of get comfortable in this space for now. So, you know, we can look at it as a tragedy, which on many fronts it is, but I think there's also an opportunity to look at aspects of this as an opportunity to grow and to, like we said, self-care, and to really, you know, hopefully come out a better version of ourselves on the other side.
I hope so. Well, a couple of things. I love the idea of balance because it is a balance. We don't know. We can't predict what tomorrow holds. So I can be like this today, and then tomorrow we receive new news, and I could be like, I just don't know what's going to happen, but I could choose to be in the moment and do what I can, do the best I can each moment at a time. But also in terms of getting better, I feel that this is a learning opportunity for everybody. We are so connected as people, and we've taken that for granted. We've taken for granted the opportunity to be at home, to be with our families, to be with our friends, to communicate with each other, to go outside and take a walk, to your surroundings, to appreciate the environment. I mean, I was reading something the other day that spoke about Venice, Italy, and the canals. And because there's less tourism, the water now has dolphins and little fish. Like,
I saw that.
I was just in Italy last year, and when I went, oh no, it was dirty, it was murky. I didn't see any dolphins. And to see like the earth healing Like that's
Mhm.
in disguise. And so, of course, our current circumstances are not ideal. I mean,
Mhm.
scary to be quite honest, but you know, there are positive things. And I hope
Mhm.
that when things eventually calm and end, or whatever the phrase or term is, I hope that we remember how we felt. We remember what soothed us and what made us feel more whole. And we carry those things with us. Like, I would hate for our world to go exactly back the same, seemingly
Mhm.
overnight. I think that would be a travesty. I think that would be a mistake. So hopefully we are paying attention and we are learning that there are benefits and things that
Yeah.
we should use.
Yeah. I heard Tony Robbins talk about the difficulty when there's a crisis, especially when someone dies, how difficult it is to, motivate them. But he says that he never tries to convince people to think a certain way, but he noticed that the people that had a prior belief system and were able to tap into that belief system prior to this crisis, those are the people that came out the best. And so, if you're a Christian and you believe in God, this is the time to believe and trust in God.
Yeah.
If you meditate and you believe that all things have a reason, and then
Yeah.
this is the time to dig into that belief. Like whatever your belief was before now, this is the time to lean on that, like lean into that. Because otherwise, yeah, if you don't have anything to hold on to, it can really feel hopeless.
Yeah. I love that. I've always told people that hope is so important. And no matter what you believe, it's important to believe in something, because when things get dire, if you can't kind of connect or have faith or hope in something,
Mm-hmm.
then what do you have? Like cynicism and dread. And so
Yeah.
I fully connect with what you said and what Tony Robbins said, because
Yeah.
it's important. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm spiritual in general, but I mean, I've been really, trying to be mindful of how I'm feeling, and just, to me, that's a practice.
Mm-hmm.
Taking care of yourself and connecting with yourself and your own thoughts, that's a practice. Wanting yourself to be whole, wanting to take care of yourself, whether it's healthy eating, movement, drinking water, that's a practice. And I just want myself, my family, my friends, everyone to be okay. And I need to have hope in order for that to happen.
Well said, well said, well said. Okay, well, so yeah,
Thanks, I had it written down.
All right. Well, I think we've given the audience enough to chew on, I hope. And hopefully you guys would have gotten something from this conversation. I really, believe in self-care with all my heart, like all my heart and soul. Like, and I think too, people are seeing self-care for the body is important as well, because this virus is attacking the body, but it's also attacking the mind, our emotions. It's attacking community, it's attacking everything. But self-care is just all around the thing. Like it's the new black. Well, it was never the
I
old.
like that. It's just something that's imperative to all of us, so I love
it is.
invited me to have this conversation. Like, I know we joked and we're silly, but it's so real. Like, we
So
have
real.
to take care of ourselves. If we aren't taking care of ourselves, who else is going to take care of us? What are
Exactly.
if we're not taking care of self?
Exactly. And I just wanted to plug, I wore this sweatshirt as a form of self-care because I love comfort and to feel comfy. And so, you know how some people say, oh, excuse my attire. No, I want you to celebrate this with me. I'm just so cozy and comfy. So
I love it. I
there we
was
go.
looking at it. It says social
Yeah.
roots.
Yes, and on the back it's got a cool, okay, I'll turn around.
I know, I'm like, you have to show us now. What is that?
I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of cool. Anyway, okay, Lakeya, thank you so much for being here. Where can my audience find you?
You can find me at socialworkmanager.org. You can also find me at info@socialworkmanager.org.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you again so much. I just appreciate you so much, and all
I
the things that
appreciate
you
you.
do. Yes, even if we don't talk all the time, just the love is there. Just know
It's
that
definitely there.
absolutely.
Thank you, Eva. Thanks for everything that you do for us.
Yeah, you are so welcome. This is my joy. Okay, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, all of the things, and we'll see you again next time.